The Google Pixel 9 Pro XL has big shoes to fill. It's the first XL Pixel we've seen in 5 years, one of Google's most expensive Pixels ever, and it has to follow up on the excellent Pixel 8 Pro it's replacing. That's a mighty tall order. Here's the good news though, the Pixel 9 Pro XL does it. Google went all out for its 9th generation flagship Pixel phone in ways I wasn't expecting. Not everything is perfect, but the result is a phenomenal smartphone that's well made, powerful, and a joy to use. If you're in the market for a flagship Android phone in almost every sense of the word, here's why the Pixel 9 Pro XL is one of your best choices. Google regularly ups its design game every year with Pixel phones, and the Pixel 9 Pro XL is no exception. However, it doesn't feel like a year-to-year improvement over the Pixel 8 Pro. Instead, it feels like a 2 or 3 year jump. Google made significant design changes this year, with one being the flat frame. Unlike other phones that went flat this year, Google did a great job keeping the edges between the frame and the front and back of the phone smooth. It's a top-notch construction job that makes the phone comfortable to hold while still giving it that flat, industrial look. I didn't think Google could pull it off, but it did. Also new is the redesigned camera bar. Instead of extending the entire length of the phone's back, it's now an oval shape that sits like an island. And I like it. The Pixel 9 Pro XL still looks like a Pixel phone, just one with a fresh coat of paint. Combined with the flat frame, the whole package looks and feels like a grown-up version of previous models. That theme also continues throughout the rest of the phone's build. The buttons are first class, the speakers sound rich and full, the new ultrasonic fingerprint sensor is fantastic, and the vibration motor is one of the best I've used on an Android phone in recent memory. Throw in an IP68 rating for protection against dust and water, and I'm struggling to think of things to complain about with this hardware. I imagine some people watching this will blast Google for copying the iPhone's design this year, and that's a fair criticism. When placed side by side with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the Pixel 9 Pro XL does look eerily similar. But I'd also argue that it's not a bad thing. Given the choice between the two phones, I prefer how the Pixel 9 looks. It's a gorgeous and tremendously well-crafted piece of hardware, and it may be one of my favorite smartphone designs of the entire year. As the XL name suggests, the Pixel 9 Pro XL is a big phone, so you get a big screen. Taking up the front of the phone is a 6.8-inch Super Actua display. It's an OLED panel with a 1344 by 2992 resolution, a variable refresh rate from 1 Hz to 120 Hz, and peak brightness up to 3000 nits. It's all packaged with symmetrical bezels around the entire display, just as it should be. This is an outstanding display. Google impressed me when it first introduced its Super Actua display technology on the Pixel 8 series last year, and it's even better on the Pixel 9 Pro XL. The screen is bright and vibrant without being too punchy. Whites are stark, blacks are deep and inky, and everything is as sharp as can be. I've been running the phone at the high resolution option at a slightly lower 1008 by 2244 resolution, which looks great to my eyes, but you can easily change it to the full 1344 by 2992 resolution if you'd like. The 120 Hz refresh rate has been buttery smooth throughout my testing, and the always-on display looks excellent too. I honestly don't have anything to complain about. This is a fantastic screen. Speaking of fantastic, let's talk about the Pixel 9 Pro XL's performance. Last year's Tensor G3 chip was surprisingly reliable, much more so than the Tensor G2 from the Pixel 7 series, and the Tensor G4 chip in the Pixel 9 phones continues that trend. I've not had any major performance issues with the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Apps open quickly, navigation is smooth, and graphically intense games run without a hitch. I played a few back-to-back rounds of Star Wars, Hunters with graphics set to very high, and the Pixel 9 Pro XL stayed at a consistent 60 frames per second for all of my matches. It also does this without overheating, a consistent issue for Tensor-powered Pixel phones. The Pixel 9 Pro XL got warm to the touch after about 20 minutes of Star Wars, Hunters, but around a level I would expect any phone to be. Finally, you get a lot more RAM this year, 16 gigs compared to the 12 gigs on the Pixel 8 Pro, and it's noticeable. I've been able to leave apps and games running in the background for over 2 hours and have them open immediately without needing to reload. Call 16 gigs of RAM overkill if you want, but I love it. Call Google lazy for not changing much of the camera hardware this year if you'd like, but you won't find me complaining about this camera setup at all. The Pixel 8 Pro was one of my favorite smartphone cameras of 2023, and it's safe to say the Pixel 9 Pro XL is one of my favorites for 2024. Like its predecessor, what I love most about the Pixel 9 Pro XL is how effortless its camera is. I don't have to think too hard about the shot I'm taking. When I press the shutter button, I'm all but guaranteed to take a great photo. Whether outdoors in great lighting, shooting directly into the sunset, or in a dimly lit restaurant, it doesn't matter. The Pixel 9 Pro XL just continues to deliver excellent photographs. The primary camera is the star of the show, but the secondary cameras are just as impressive. The ultra-wide shooter gives you a lovely 123-degree field of view while retaining good colors and detail that's comparable to the primary camera. The ultra-wide camera can also double as a macro camera, and the results are lovely. The telephoto camera is technically a 5x optical zoom sensor, though Google says it has a 10x optical equivalent. And if you want to get crazy, Super Res Zoom lets you go up to 30x. And you know what? All of these zoom lengths, even up to 30x, look shockingly good. I'll let the photos of the rabbit above speak for themselves. Also, in typical Google fashion, the Pixel 9 Pro XL camera experience has its fair share of AI features. Add Me is the one Google is marketing the most, and it's impressive. Autoframe is another new feature, and I'm already getting a lot of mileage out of it. If you take a crooked photo, open it in the Magic Editor in Google Photos and tap the Autoframe button. It uses AI to perfectly line up your shot and fill in any missing gaps. In about a second, you get a perfectly framed photo. As someone who can rarely frame a shot the way I want to, Autoframe has been a fantastic tool. In a surprise twist, the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL doesn't ship with Android 15. Instead, like the Pixel 8 family, it ships with Android 14. It's an odd move, though ultimately, it's not a big deal. It'll be first in line for Android 15 when it's ready, and even without the newest Android version available, there are still some new software goodies to play with. Beyond those new additions, this is the same Pixel smartphone experience we've come to know and love over the years. Google's Android interface is clean, organized, and easy to navigate. Other features, such as Now Playing and Hold For Me, are still here and as helpful as ever. I've long preferred Google's Pixel software over any other Android interface, and that's not changing this year. On particularly heavy days, the Pixel 9 Pro XL is still a one-day smartphone. One day, for example, began at 7:20 in the morning and ended at 11:55 at the end of the day, with 16% battery remaining. That included 4 hours and 49 minutes of screen time, over 20 minutes of gaming, and lots of time on a 5G connection away from Wi-Fi. On a more casual day with just 2 hours and 47 minutes of screen time, still had 44% remaining. Depending on how you use the Pixel 9 Pro XL, this can easily be a day-and-a-half smartphone. Is this on the same endurance level we've seen from phones like the Galaxy S24 Plus and OnePlus 12? Not quite, but it is a notable improvement from the Pixel 8 Pro. And that means my Pixel battery anxiety isn't a thing this year. There's still room to improve, but Google is making great progress here. On the one hand, I suppose it isn't surprising that the successor to one of 2023's best smartphones is also excellent. But it's the level of improvement in certain areas where Google surprised me this year. I've discussed it enough, but the Pixel 9 Pro XL's hardware is unfathomably good. Google's Pixel hardware has always felt just a bit behind the competition, but it's now on par with, if not better than, the latest flagships from Samsung and Apple. It's also impressive that overheating and battery life are non-issues this year, as these are two things that have notoriously been a thorn in the side of Pixel phones. Throw that together with the expected excellence in camera quality, mostly good AI features and clean, up-to-date software, and you're looking at a darn good package. So, if the Pixel 9 Pro XL is so good, why not give it a perfect 10/10? Despite all the upgrades, the new $1,099 price is a sticking point. That's not because of the competition, but because the non-XL Pixel 9 Pro includes all the same features and specs, with a more compact display and a smaller battery for $100 less. It's the one I'll probably stick with, but that's because I prefer smaller phones. If you like bigger phones, the XL is the way to go. And the fact that we have a choice this year is fantastic. I just wish going for the XL also came with more storage and faster charging. Regardless, the Pixel 9 Pro XL is one of the best phones you can buy in 2024. It's the phone I'd personally choose over the Galaxy S24 Ultra, and it's even giving my iPhone 15 Pro Max a run for its money. If you want a big flagship Android phone, it's tough to do better than this. The Pixel 9 Pro XL is that good.